Hey friends, Brad here. I'm going to give it just a minute or two and see if some other folks join. Hopefully you can hear me. It says I'm live. Okay, I'm just going to look at some content I'm going to be going over today. So if you'll give me just a moment, I'll start talking about things that actually matter. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. I have a feeling that the majority of you are probably going to watch the recording of this, and that is totally fine. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's 2 p.m. where I am. I'm in the Mountain Standard Time Zone, and I tried to choose a time that I thought would probably work for, um, or hopefully work for a lot of people as they're winding down from the weekend. Um, okay, so what am I doing here? What is this group that you guys have joined and are now a part of? So the whole concept is to create a Facebook group called Side Hustles for Travel Advisors, the Travel Advisor Blueprint, and I'll explain that. The whole concept was to essentially create a group where people could come and they could receive education on the travel industry, being a travel advisor, and what you should look for when you're going out venturing into that. The reason it's called side hustles is most people start this in this industry part time. It takes a long time. I'll be honest with you, completely transparent. To start making money, you have to build up your sales and your business, right? So there can be a ramp up period there. And so a lot of people started as a side hustle, a side gig, part time, remote, whatever you want to call it. So hence the name of our group. But my goal is primarily to provide education to people who are interested in joining the industry. I have found this to be a very rewarding venture that I have taken over the past several years, and I absolutely love it. I'm passionate about it. I love talking about it, and just interacting. Anything about travel, I enjoy. Also, as the owner of a boutique host travel agency, I'm actually looking for agents or advisors. They mean the same thing: travel agents, travel advisors, same thing. To partner with as a part of my agency. So I would, in other words, I would host agents to come on board. They would use my tools and resources and be able to book travel, me providing that infrastructure that most agents need to get started in the industry, because trying to set this up by yourself, it's just a nightmare. Take it from me. So most agents start with a host agency. And so in addition to education with these videos that I'm doing, I'm also seeking to partner with other people in the industry who share the passion that I have. But anyway, today is all about education. This is not a sales pitch to try to get you to come join me at Wonderoso, although that could be an opportunity. But this is, again, really about helping people understand this industry. So I have a list here of some things I just want to run through and make sure that I don't forget. So let's talk about some of the things that happen when you first get into the industry. So most new travel advisors, they look for a host. Again, Wonderoso, my company, is a host agency, but people look for a host. So a host agency is an agency that provides the infrastructure that travel advisors need to book travel. For example, there are licenses that are required in multiple states. There are bonds that go with that, bank accounts that go with it, different filings from a regulatory standpoint, legal contracts, terms and conditions, you name it. I could go on and on and on and on and on. To build the infrastructure of a successful travel business is really hard for an advisor trying to do it on its own. It's not that it's impossible. It's absolutely possible to do it on your own, but it's a big headache. And so host agencies provide that infrastructure so that advisors can book travel under the agency's credentials and then get paid. So it really is that simple. And it's the most common model that you see out there. You can think of it as you're a partner of that host agency. You can think of it as you're an independent contractor. You could think of a host agency as a business to business solution. There's so many different ways that you can consider what a host agency is in terms of a relationship with you. But generally speaking, that's what it is. It's we provide the tools and the infrastructure that's necessary for advisors to come in, learn the industry, hit the ground running, start selling travel and making money. It's really enablement that host agencies provide. So I've been talking a lot in the group this week specifically about what you should focus on when you're a new travel advisor, right? So let's say you find your host agency and now you're like, oh my God, what do I do? It's the first 30 days. All agencies are not created equal, my friends. Some of them are going to have a decently robust training when you first come on board. Some of them are just, you're going to sign a contract and you're on your own, right? Or you have very limited training. So when you're in either situation, it can be overwhelming with what do I start with, right? Number one, the agency that gives you so many resources, you're like, well, where do I even begin? Or number two, the agency that just leaves you in the dark, right? So either way, it can be overwhelming. So I thought I would create a video earlier this week that would talk about the first 30 days, what that looks like. So I'm going to talk about some of the concepts that I mentioned, and I'll probably go a little bit more in depth. So the first thing I said is start your business legally, right? You can be a sole proprietor. You don't have to go out there and get your own employer EIN number, your own tax ID number with the IRS, excuse me. There's no editing in these videos like I can edit my other videos. So here we go. So the IRS. You can go out there and get your own tax ID, or you can just work under your own social security number. As a sole proprietor. The problem with that is that certain different types of business entities, such as a limited liability company, an LLC, have certain protections. So I chose an LLC, and this is not legal advice. I chose it. I chose it because I want to protect my personal assets in case I do something majorly wrong. I mean to send a client to Scotland and I send them to Japan. And trust me, people would get on the wrong plane and would not think twice. People do crazy things, right? If I end up screwing something up, right? And a lot of the trips that I book are 20, 30, $40,000 trips. I could be liable. I want my business assets um, I want my personal assets rather to be secured. I don't want someone putting a lien on my house or raiding my bank account or anything like that. It's just a lot easier to have a legal structure in place like a limited liability company. Um, that way they can't get your personal assets. That's just how I looked at it. That is my understanding. That is not advice for you. You could do a corporation, you could do an S corp. There's many different legal structures that you can do. You should consult an attorney and you should consult an accountant as well before you make that decision. But the most important thing is that you determine how you want to set up your business. Okay. Um, I just can't stress that enough. It's really hard to get the ball rolling on a new business and then suddenly change everything 6 months down the road because you've already registered with suppliers as a certain business name or a business type or what have you. And then you have to turn around and do it all over again. That's a pain. So, again, set up your business legally. And then number two, get business cards. So there's a lot that you should not focus on, but I think you should get business cards from day one or day two, whenever you have your business name, basically. So I have them at my agency. I've got Canva templates, and Canva is a design platform. I'm not sure if anyone's aware, but you can go on Canva, you can design tons of stuff, and then you can actually get it printed by Canva and they'll mail it directly to you. So I have my business card here. Super simple. Just went out, did the design myself, and had business cards. And the reason I think business cards are important in the beginning is people are going to talk to you, right? You're going to be out and about, whether you're talking to friends or family, and you're going to be saying, well, hey, I'm interested in travel. I'm trying to become a travel advisor. And people are going to say, oh, I know someone who might want to go to Disney World or wherever they might want to go. You hand out your card, and then randomly you get a phone call 3 months down the road, I still have people that call me from a couple expos that I did a year and a half ago, and they say, "Hey, I saved your business card." And I'm like, "You did?" In the back of my brain, I'm thinking, "I have no idea who you are. I don't remember you, but hey, let's work together, right?" So the business cards I think are very important from the beginning. Whether you're ready to sell travel or not, get yourself a business card. And then the next thing I think is really important is to get an email address, right? You don't want to be brad.powell@gmail.com and call yourself a travel advisor. That does not look very professional. So I don't know, blueskiesandраinbows.com, right? Whatever your domain you decide that you want to be that represents your business, you want to have a professional email domain. There's a bunch of different services that you can get set up. I think the most common one is Google Workspace. So you can get your domain there. So at suzietravels.com, and most of them come with an email address, and when you purchase the domain you can use their tools to build a website when that time comes. Don't build that website yet, but you can at least get the domain, the email address with that domain, so you can start getting business cards and being professional from day one. That's super super important. Besides Google Workspace, there's companies out there like Squarespace, GoDaddy, Microsoft. My email domain lives on Microsoft. I'm personally a Mac guy, but Gmail drives me nuts the way that they organize messages and stuff like that. I would rather handle it in Outlook, but that's just me. Some people love Gmail. I could take it or leave it. I use it for my personal stuff, but I just prefer a different, more professional experience for myself when I'm dealing with work. All right. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is basically your basic training. So when you join a host agency in the travel industry, most host agencies are going to have like welcome to the industry kind of stuff. Um, well, let me rephrase that. Good host agencies have welcome to the travel industry kind of stuff. Hey, new person, here's what a travel supplier actually is, right? Here's how you book commission. Here's how you book a trip. Here's how you report commission. Very basic stuff. Some of them only give you a basic training that's specific to how you will interact with them as an independent contractor, like how you have your commissions researched, or what do you need to do if there's a group contract that needs to be reviewed, right? So the training for some of them is how you interact with them instead of how does this industry work? That's what I was missing when I first went with a host. I didn't understand how the industry worked, and their training didn't provide it. Now, several of you out there who are in this group I'd partnered with before, and I love that agency that I worked with. Wonderful people, great leaders, but just not the way I wanted to do things. I didn't think that the training was strong enough where it would resonate with people that are new to the industry. And that's why I wanted to build what I have built. Anyway, so you want to start basic training, learn the basic concepts about travel. It's not just booking an air ticket, for example. It's not booking a plane ticket. Did you know there's different types of fares? There's NDC fares, consolidated fares, publicly available fares. I mean, it goes on and on and on, right? There's different rules. There's different tools that you can book with. There's web-based tools. There's the global distribution system, etc. It's not just go book a plane trip, right? So if you're new to the industry, you need to learn all this stuff, and you need to have a host that's on your side that's going to give you that basic training. So that's what you need to focus on before you do all this other crap, right? And I'll talk about what not to do a little bit later. I would follow very successful travel agents online, or travel advisors. Again, you'll hear me use these words interchangeably constantly, but follow very successful people that are out there. Just Google most popular travel advisors or most successful travel advisors. Find their social media posts, and then just look what they do, and then look what they don't do compared to agents that you see out there who clearly are just like not getting their act together, right? So just do that. It's very important to observe and to study them, and across multiple platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, you could do X, formerly known as Twitter. You could do YouTube. Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? TikTok. I'm trying to get on TikTok. Um, just so many different platforms. And then LinkedIn is another one. And that's basically for more corporate type travel that certain advisors sell, right? So retreats for companies and things like that are more relevant to LinkedIn. Anyway, study successful people. Okay. The next thing I wanted to say is start gathering information. So, if you were to join my agency, for example, I partner with someone named Chris Porter, who is absolutely a phenomenal travel advisor, someone that I have respected and looked up to since I started in this industry. And she has a training called How to Travel Agent. And when you come on board with Wanderoso, you participate in that training. It's a part of your onboarding. So that whole training, like, well, I'd say 90% of that training is about how to build a marketing plan. And so that's critical. That doesn't mean you need to take that specific training the second you walk through the door, but start thinking about a marketing plan. And marketing can be anything. It can be handing your business cards out at a park. It can be just talking about your business. It can be going to an event at the local. Why can't I think of the name of it? The local business venture club or whatever it's called. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank now. I'm sure it's because I'm live. Um, Chamber of Commerce. There you go. It could be just sending emails out to your family and friends. It could be posting something on Facebook about you being in the travel industry. Think about all of the people that you know, former coworkers, people in past lives. I don't know. Just start thinking about the different types of people that you could sell travel to or partner with, right? Maybe you would want to partner with, um, maybe you want to do destination weddings and you go to a bridal shop and you strike a deal, right? Or maybe there's numerous different things that you could do, right? So just start thinking about it. A friend of mine who might want to join my company actually loves pickleball. That's her thing. She has absolutely fell in love with it. And she's thinking about doing pickleball travel for pickleball enthusiasts that might want to go to competitions and things like that, right? So just start thinking, right? And then everything else will fall into place with the marketing plan later as you do training. So here's the things that you should ignore. Setting up your own website. There is no point in setting up a website if you have no idea what you want to sell. Again, there is no point. If you were to go to my website, wanderoso.com, Wanderoso.com, from the moment you pull that up, it screams Europe. I never thought when I was going to get into this industry that Europe was going to be my specialty or my niche. It just kind of happened, right? One day someone came to me and was like, I would like to go to Spain. The next thing you know, I've got another client that wants to go to Spain. And now Italy has become my most popular destination. And then France. France has become pretty popular as well. So if you go to my website, you'll notice that there's Venice, there's Florence, there's, I don't know, tons of different Europe stuff. There's the Eiffel Tower in Paris that's all over it, right? There's the Trevi Fountain in Rome. You'll see the imagery on my website, and it's clear that me personally, focus like a lot on Europe, right? So why would I have built a website that was like all about Disney or all about cruises? Which cruises are okay. I mean, I sell a few cruises, but it's not my passion. Europe is. So I waited. Well, actually, I created a website at the former company that I worked with, but then I waited with Wanderosa when I built my own business to really make sure I knew what I was going to focus on. Otherwise, I would have wasted time creating a website that told a story that wasn't even real, saying that I do things and sell things that I don't, right? And so just hang out, wait on that kind of thing. Another thing is obsessing over social media. Again, if you don't know what you're going to focus on, what are you going to do? Create templates and posts that say what? I'm a travel agent. No, 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 no. You want to have a focus. I mean, you can get on social media and you can say, I'm working on selling travel and all this other stuff. I'm working on becoming a travel professional. There's nothing wrong with that sort of like high level introductory marketing to get your name out there. But don't try to become an influencer when you don't quite know yet where you want to focus. And then the last thing that I would completely ignore right now are CRMs, customer relationship management systems. So there are things like Turn, Tern, like the bird. Yeah, that's a bird, Turn. Travefy, Traveljoy, Tess, Safari Portal. I'm sure I'm missing a couple. There's many different CRMs out there. So a CRM, a customer relationship management system, manages your customers. It's a database of customers and their contact information. You can also use it to create proposals. And a proposal will be like, here's the flights that I'm proposing. Here's the hotel that I'm proposing at this particular resort I'm proposing. Some activities, some insurance options, things like that. The system will create a beautiful proposal that clients can interact with. It's one of the main tools that you have in your toolbox for getting people to purchase travel from you. These systems also come with automations and email templates and things like that. I paid someone, I think it was like close to $1,000 to build out my CRM that has 85 different email templates for different destinations in the world, different cruise lines, Disney, you name it. It's sort of like a go-to repository of information, of tools, of emails, and automations and workflows. So, an example of a workflow, someone says they want to go on a trip to Italy. They fill out a form. That form comes into my CRM. It has their demographic information, their contact information. And then I reach out to them and I ask them to schedule a call. I have the call with them. And then after I have the call with them, I start getting the automation going. I send out an email that summarizes our conversation. I click a button, an agreement goes out for them to sign. They can authorize payment for the fees that I charge them right there in that CRM. I book the trip. And when I book the trip, I put all of the information in the CRMs, their booking numbers, the confirmations, tickets if they're excursions, you name it. And then they can see it on their mobile app too when they're in destination, right? Um, they can there's so many things that you can do, but it's the automation components and those templates that take forever. For a new person to build, you should not be focusing on when you're first getting started in this industry. Other examples of automations. After they pay, they're going to start receiving emails 90 days, 45 days, 30 days, and 1 week before travel, telling them packing list, what they need to do for visa requirements. If they have any final payments that they haven't made that need to be paid through the system, they'll get an email, etc. Like all of these automations and task lists and these things, if you focus on this within your first 30 days, you will drive yourself absolutely bonkers. Like, you do not want to waste time on that shit. Sorry, this is the uncensored podcast here. You do not want to waste your time on that shit. It's important, but it will come when it comes. So it's important to let that stuff sort of happen organically in your business. Now, if you were to join a host agency like Wonderoso, when agents join, they have all that stuff built out for them. Most agencies do not do this. This is one of the things that I wanted to do to differentiate my agency from other agencies out there who are lazy and are not invested in their people enough. I wanted to have something that is turnkey. People join, I hand over the keys to the CRM. All they have to do is personalize it by putting their name, their own email address, tweaking the language however they want. They can pick or choose what automations, what templates, blah, 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 that they want. So I have made this extremely easy. So agents actually won't have to focus on that when they come to Wonderoso. But even though I have all that for them, I don't want people spending their time setting it up in the first 30 days. I love that people want to get ready to book travel, but if you can't even tell me what an NDC fare is for airfare, don't even waste your time building out a CRM. It's just a complete waste of time. All right. Those are the things that I would ignore. I would focus on the really most important things: setting up the business legally, getting your business card, because you're going to start talking to the world about what you do, getting a professional email address, doing that basic training, which is more than just learning how you interact with your host. It's learning the simple things about the travel industry. Um, and follow successful travel agents online. That's critical. Now, you're probably going to say, what is a successful travel agent? Here's how they are differentiated. The ones that are super successful talk about the client experience that they are guiding. They talk about how they're taking the stress away from planning travel. They're giving actual value proposition, right? They're explaining, as a travel agency, my job is to take the stress out of planning travel for you. Unsuccessful travel agents out there are saying, I'm a travel agent. I have a cruise that's 20% off. Please book with me. And my services, by the way, are free. They say that, they do that, or they put stuff out there that says, like, I'm trying to reach a goal of selling a $500,000 in travel. Well, good for you, but the people that want to buy travel are the people that are trying to do so, trying to get these services in a way that is not stressful, right? They're trying to put that stress on someone else, right? And we as agents, we book travel without stress because we've got toolkits that help us, right? But a successful travel agent markets themselves as someone that is providing a service, not someone that is saying, hey, I'm begging you, please book with me and my services are free. Okay. So I had to learn that the hard way. Again, I know I'm talking in circles, but that is a successful travel agent. So find those travel agents out there and look what the good ones do, and then notice the ones that are desperate and pathetic. And I'm going to say, forgive me, anybody who that might offend, but this is the uncensored version. Okay. Let's see. So next week, what we're going to be talking about is, what do you do after the first 30 days? I'm going to talk about some supplier trainings, and a travel supplier is anyone that provides travel. Travel supplier can be a resort, it can be an airline, it could be a tour operator, it could be a destination management company, people or companies that actually provide a travel service or an experience that clients undergo. So, we will talk about the importance of supplier trainings after your first 30 days. So, all of that is going to be next week. And I'm going to say something during that training that you're not going to expect someone like me to say, and it has to do with Mickey Mouse. All right. Let's see if there's anything else that I missed for today. So I would love for this group to be one in which we interact, in which we collaborate. So please, folks, it's cool to just sit back there and watch the content in the group and watch me make a fool out of myself on these crazy videos. But please comment, interact. Like, this is a space that we all want to learn from. Otherwise, I'm assuming people wouldn't be here in the group. So if we want to make it a learning environment, let's interact, right? Let's get to know each other. Um, and then I will give the plug for my own agency here. So, one of the reasons why I started Wanderoso Travel Network is to be a host that does things better than these stupid ass agencies out there that are taking advantage of agents by not providing them with the tools and resources they need to understand the effing travel industry the way that they should. I'm doing things differently. I'm providing support to those who want it. That doesn't mean if you come aboard Wanderoso that I'm going to be up your butt trying to make you sell X number of dollars in travel. It doesn't work that way. It just means that I make myself available and give you tools at your disposal. And I don't do nonsense and I don't do bullshit. So, all these other agencies will sell you retreats and t shirts and all these wonderful things. Now, they sell culture. Culture's great in a business, but you also need to understand why you're here. You're here to sell travel and to make money, and you need a company to partner with that's going to help you do that. And that takes a lot more than what exists out there in many ways by many companies. So, completely non-shameless plug here. That's why I'm here, is to provide that experience and partner with agents. So you can message me on Facebook Messenger if you'd like. You could email me at brad@wanderoso, WANDEROSO.com. Go to my website. You can set up a meeting with me. There's book an appointment. I mean, I have made it as easy as I possibly can to get in touch with me. And oh, one more thing. There's a giveaway that's coming up this week in the Facebook group. So watch out. At a certain point, you'll see that a giveaway is coming. All you have to do is comment on that giveaway, and I will send you this giveaway that I've been working on. Anyway, so you friends, I will end this video like I always end the other ones. Now you be safe. Have a good day.